do the usual. Yesterday was not the usual.
Shit was bad. Muy bad. Muy mal. I think he was a backup.
For?
Muy mal was he was in Santana. He was the backup bongo. Backup to the fifth bongo guy. Santana had some percussion. He did.
We had a pre-production meeting.
I made it almost. Well, I just had to test it out. I'm trying there, Ringo, again.
And I asked my partner of the podcast.
I'm your partner. I'm Jim, the partner.
To not ask me pointed questions, because I'll spout off everything I know, but then he quizzes me just to make me look foolish in front of everybody.
It's a matter of perspective, and I can see where you might feel that way. And I also feel like you called me passive aggressive so many times yesterday that I don't even know if I can't not be there. How's that?
Well, the week before I was the passive aggressive one.
Yeah, that seemed fine. So here's the situation. First of all, we're the Ascertainers, one of the best podcasts named The Ascertainers in the universe, as far as we know. And it is two old men from Minnesota. We are old. We're not middle-aged. If we live to be 120, we're middle-aged. So
we get the senior discount at golf.
We did, which I had no problem with at all. I was pretty excited about that. But the Ascertainers are Mark and Jim. That is Mark.
Hello, everyone.
I am Jim. We are excited that you listened, and we hope that we make it worth your while, because your time is valuable. And I'll give you a pro tip from my friend Charlie, Ascertainers guest and T-shirt owner. Listen to it at a faster speed, and you'll get it over quicker. It's like a spoonful of sugar in the podcasting sense.
Yeah, you'll be disappointed quicker.
Oh, geez, Mark.
I shouldn't badmouth our podcast.
Jeepers creepers. So anyway, we typically, for 113 episodes or so, almost every time we record, it's on a Friday night, and we go to our sponsor, Newt's. We'll talk about them a little more later. And we will then leave Newt's after a couple of cold ones and a delicious meal, and come back to my basement in the Dojo studio, patent pending. And we'll do our thing. But this week we decided, let's golf on Saturday, because it's supposed to be pretty nice on Saturday. And but you know what? Let's still go to Newt's on Friday night. And we did a little more drinking than eating this past Friday.
We had a good time.
We had a great time. But unfortunately, being an old man, I don't have the recovery of the young man in several sectors of my pastimes, including not being hungover. So very hungover yesterday. We golfed, and then after golf, we had something to eat, and then we recorded, and I was a big zero. It was bad. We went through, we recorded the whole thing, and Mark got done, and I got done, and I said, oof, that was rough. We can't put that out, because you, the listener, deserve a hell of a lot better. So just like the goalie and slap shot recommends, I went to the box for 2 minutes and I feel shame. And that's what I felt last night after you left. It was like, you know what? That was piss poor, man. You're better than that. And you have a great opportunity to do something you like with someone you like. And you can't do that anymore. So
you did call tonight and say, I'm really excited about doing.
I am. I was.
You were.
and then I got the instruction manual. Do you see here, Jim, in my contract where it says we're having conversations, but part of that conversation shall not include asking Mark questions, direct questions, I think it was. Or is it just questions about things you don't know anything about? Because I don't know what you don't know anything about. And I think it's perfectly okay to say, I don't fucking know. Because if I'm asking you, then I don't know either. So you can't feel bad. You shan't You shall not feel bad. It's in the contract.
The only problem I had with it, he gives me a very disappointed look, and he says, "Way to go, we are a music podcast."
How many times did you listen to that?
Over and over again.
You corrected yourself. Well, you could say, "Damn it, Jim, I'm a doctor," like in Star Trek. You could say, "Damn it, Jim, I'm a pilot, not a rock analyst."
Or rock historian.
Love it. That sounds way better than analyst, especially when you write it. So,
and you can uncross your arms. I didn't want to make you feel
cold.
uncomfortable.
It's a little chilly on this side of the table.
Unclench your fist.
My body language would indicate, though, that I just don't know what to do with my hands.
Okay, Ricky Bobby.
They're up now. They're up here now. They're getting tingly. I put them down. So we golfed yesterday. It was fun.
You can mention what happened?
I can't.
Why not?
Well, we're not a golf podcast, so.
Yeah, but that was special.
I chipped in, that one?
Yeah,
I chipped in from, I don't know, 80 yards.
Probably that.
And that was fun. Never happened before, so. Still didn't break 50. I shot a 50. I went in saying, I'm breaking 50 today, even with this huge hangover. And it was very improbable, but I got down to the last two holes. I said, well, if I birdie and par these last two holes, I can break 50. And I birdied and bogeyed. And I missed the putt by it was
close.
It was in my head though, because it was going to drop off, and I just couldn't aim far enough right to. I aimed, but my hands kind of pulled it when I got it through. So anyway, it's all good. I normally wouldn't complain about that, but I had a special goal that day, and we golfed with a couple of dudes that we kind of caught up. They caught up to us, and we played Hidden Greens, Hastings, Minnesota. Pretty nice track, but Mark and I know nothing about it, so you don't know what the hell you're getting into, right?
Right.
And the greens are compared to what Fountain Valley, which is a fine golf course, soon to be a data center, which is why I don't golf there anymore. But these greens have quite a bit of undulation, I would say.
Fountain Valley, you could pretty much aim right at the pin every putt.
Not a lot of benders, not a lot of drop-off or anything like that. Hidden Greens, which I guess I like a little bit of challenge, and it's not the worst, but I didn't like 5-putt ever.
It's something that we'll probably have to get used to more, playing a little more difficult greens.
As we blossom as golfers, but... Yeah, these two guys we picked up, they were kind of funny. They were smoking some geef on the course, and it was like, hey, is that you guys? And they're like, yeah, maybe. And I'm like, yeah, okay, well, don't worry about us. We're good. So that was fun. And they seemed like they were really good golfers, but they missed as many shots as we did.
Fairly good
golfer. Guy with the pants was better than the other guy.
Yes.
I think the other guy was hitting the ganj a little harder, though. He just kind of looked like it. You know, Adam Sandler's Happy Gilmore's caddy, he looked like his little brother, in almost every respect. He had the beard. He golfed in high top Vans that weren't laced. It looked like those Caterpillar golf shoes you got there. So yeah, but they were fun and good company for sure. So I guess you never know. We've had situations like that before where the company was much less enjoyable. Let's be polite there. So I'd like to talk about Newt's real fast because you know what? I also want to talk about a couple other contributors to the show, but for sure Newt's the original, where the concept was born, Apple Valley, Minnesota, a short drive from anywhere south of Minneapolis. If you haven't tried it, you should go. You should tell them the Ascertainers sent you, and you're going to get either a great burger, sandwich, appetizer. You always get fresh popcorn, great service, a lot of beer selection, obviously mixed drinks, soft drinks, all that kind of stuff too. They make their own chocolate milk. I've seen it.
I did not know that.
You got a kid? Yeah, don't you? They pour it and they got to stir it with the spoon and stuff. It's on the other side of the bar from where we normally sit, so you'd be facing out the windows. That's where they keep the milk. That sounded dirty, but anyway, it is. And yes, so they have been supporting the Ascertainers for well over 10 gallons of beer each. That's our deal we work out. Mark and I each get a free beer when we go in there. And it's been that many episodes. At 16 ounces, you do the math. We're approaching a keg. Thanks, Newts. Thank you so much.
And I think we did get a bonus one Friday.
I think we earned it. Anyway, we got a chance to talk to Corey. Good time. I think we're going to try it. We're working. The conversations have evolved where we're talking about doing a little golf and recording day, either on a Friday or a Saturday. And I think that we're trending in that direction. So stay tuned for that. But that'll be a blast.
Yeah, we'll get hammered the day before, play golf, and try to record.
I will take a day off just to sleep, just to get, let blood out of my body and then put it back in, like Lassie Viren, the flying fin. You know what Lassie Viren is? Oh, sorry. Shit.
I don't know Lassie
There's
Viren.
a runner, are you familiar with? But in the 70s, there was a runner from Finland. That I know you're familiar with. So I'll give you a little confidence booster. You know Finland, right, Mark? Uncross your arms, Mark. Anyway, that was a thing. He wouldn't do performance-enhancing drugs, but he would have a bunch of his blood removed and then train. And then right before the Olympics, had that blood put back into himself. So he had like better oxygen capacity or something. Yeah,
Used to do that a lot in the Tour de France.
And that's what I'm going to do the day before Corey comes on the podcast. I'm going to be so ready. And I won't even drink at golf. I'm lying. I think we'll all have a few at golf and hopefully come back. And I think he will be a hell of a lot of fun to have on. I don't want to put any pressure on, but I don't know. Really, we'll talk about music. I think we'll just talk about life and stuff like that. So looking forward to that. It's Memorial Day weekend. You want to talk about that real quick, or do you want to wait until that? Okay.
It is Memorial Day weekend, and I would like to do a quick toast. Mm-hmm. So if you raise your glass.
I'm having a margarita tonight. Can you hear it? Okay.
To those who gave their all for our nation, may we never forget their sacrifice.
You're here. Including Mark, who served. Thanks for your service, Mark. Air Force man. What was your rank when you got out?
I was major.
Wow. That sounds high. So did you boss people around? Did you go have that removed? Like the guy in Stripes? Okay.
Grenade.
Oh, pick up the soap. I remember him saying that. Man, those movies had so much gratuitous nudity. Stripes, that other one, Vacation. I feel like every movie in the early 80s had some
like Porky's, that was all it was about.
That had gratuity clothing. I mean, gratuitous clothed people, because there was a lot of
40-year-old high schoolers.
Yeah, that's true, man. They were pretty old. They were older than the kids in Greece, I think. Like the teachers are younger than the students in a couple of cases. I have a couple errors and omissions. Do you want to go talk about those?
Yeah.
When I was talking about Steven Tyler and Kenny the Jet Smith having a race, for some reason I thought Steven Tyler's knees were all messed up, and I tried to find some evidence of that. I think I saw him walking once, and it just looked like his knees were very, knocked. He looked like the letter K. I guess one was backwards. Anyway, his knees were they looked like he was having a tough time getting around. But then I saw, trying to look up something to find some video of Steve Tyler knee problems and stuff like that. Turns out what his real problem was, he did have some kind of knee surgery or whatever, but he has a toe problem, and it's called Morton's neuroma, and it's also, another name for it is tangled toes. So they don't look good. You can find pictures of that on the internet where it looks like his toes he's crossing his toes to keep a secret. What is the thing? We talked about this last night. I didn't get it right. Sometimes when you're saying something and you cross your fingers, it means maybe you can't be held to it or you're not being truthful or something. So I think his toes are living a lie. And I think that's why he and Kenny the Jet Smith would have a competitive race. Because Kenny the Jet Smith's knees, those are on TV. He's on some commercial now, and they actually have him kind of running, and it's hard to. It's like loons. They're not real. They're great in water, but not so good in the dry land.
I also scoured the internet. Jim asked me who would win the race, and I said Steven Tyler.
I want to look it up on ChatGPT. I want to hear what it has to say about it, because it will say. Okay, I've asked ChatGPT the question because it needs to be settled. And ChatGPT, for those who don't know, is like an AI, artificial intelligence, something like aid, where you can ask it questions and it will say what is a very intelligent answer.
How old do you think our listeners are?
I don't even know if we have any. It says, I asked ChatGPT, who would win in a race, Kenny the Jet Smith or Steven Tyler? And it thought for a little bit, and what popped up was a picture of the two combatants, so it knows who they are. It says, in a hypothetical race between Kenny the Jet Smith and Steven Tyler, Kenny Smith would likely have the edge. So there's your answer. Well, kind of an answer, would likely. It kind of comes down to want to at that point. I'm going to take a wild guess and say former professional athlete will probably beat out rock and roll star. But did you ever watch Battle of the Network Stars? I mean, sometimes you got surprises there. I'm going to type in even with his bad knees and see if it says anything.
Why not call them both and set up a race?
We got a big bowl of money. There's a little over $140 in there, kids. Here's what we'll do. We'll comp one meal each. You got to travel. It's going to be at Newt's. Hope you're drinking beer. And, it didn't even, it must have hurt us. And I got some here's whys. Okay. I said, even with his bad knees. Yes, even with his bad knees. Kenny the Jet Smith would almost certainly still win a race against Steven Tyler, especially over a short distance. Here's why. Baseline athleticism. Smith was an elite NBA point guard, known for his speed and quickness. Even diminished by age and knee issues, his athletic foundation is way ahead of Tyler's. Steven Tyler is a rock icon and impressively fit for his age, but he's not a trained athlete. His fitness leans more toward endurance and flexibility, yoga, hiking, not sprinting. Unless it's a very long distance endurance race and Smith's knees gave out, he still has the edge, especially in a short burst. Think of it like comparing a retired sprinter to a fit musician. The athlete will still have the edge in raw speed. Thank you, ChatGPT.
So what's the age difference? He might have the edge of being more
I think he's
youthful.
probably younger too, but not by much. Well, no. I think we're good. ChatGPT didn't bring it up, so I don't need to bring it up.
Your question to me, it wasn't really you were looking for an answer. I gave an answer because I thought Jim was attacking me about my
Who did you say?
knees.
Did you say Kenny?
No, I said...
You thought Steven Tyler could beat Kenny the Jet Smith?
Because you said that you saw Kenny running, and it wasn't
pretty. I've seen Steven ambulate, and it's not pretty either. So it wouldn't be fun to watch. It would be hard to watch. Who do you think would win in 50-yard dash, you or me?
You.
How about 40? Would you have the advantage the longer it got or the shorter it got?
I could beat you in a 4-mile race.
Agreed. We run the whole way, or do we get to drive part of it? That's why you'd win. Good. In fact, I'm just going to take your word for it. In fact, I'll just announce it. Mark beat Jim at a 4-mile race recently.
But you would beat me in a sprint.
Which is more important. I made that challenge to my fantasy football group. We used to have we used to call it the winter meetings. And it was just an excuse to get together during the winter and drink beer. And I challenged the guys. There's 10 of us. And I think 5 of us ran, and I took dead last and threw up in the street. And Dean, the football player, Dino, he won. I didn't have my money on him. I had my money on me. I thought I was going to clean up. Oh,
maybe I could take you then.
Probably not the best idea to get hammered and then issue the challenge. I think maybe sober I would have finished 4th out of 5th, but Dino was quick. He still plays softball. He's one of those guys. Old guy softball guy.
Can we do like a 3-legged race?
Aren't they all?
Is that what slows you down?
That's why I don't like running a long distance, man. I think it's a callus by the end. It's not good.
That's naughty.
Wheelbarrow race, maybe. Little, what do they call that? The gateway to the human centipede? No, thank you, sir. I don't want to do that. You know what that is? It's not good. Our listeners better not know what that is, because...
Is that the movie?
There's a movie about it, yeah, and
yeah,
it's a thing. And that was my error on omission, kinda. Forrest Gump. It was Bubba Gump. It was his friend from the shrimp boat, Bubba. Also, a huge national restaurant franchise that we couldn't figure out. When asked.
I have an apology to Pete Townsend because I was slamming him quite a bit.
Oh my!
So what's going to happen is that Steve Miller's going to show up with Pete Townsend, and Steve Miller's going to kick Jim's ass, and then Pete Townsend's going to come after me. We could add that to the podcast.
It'll be gold. I can hear Steve Miller going, "Hey, Jim, I'm going to kick the Pompatus of your ass." And Pete Townsend, I don't know what he would do. Would you just do that windmill thing and wait for you to walk into it?
He could smash a me guitar over your head.
He could. I don't know if he still can. Who wins that race? Steve Miller, Pete Townsend. I'll ask that on my off time. I'm just going to do that.
Would we be able to get away?
If you were a lot younger, I think Pete Townsend could catch you. Do you get that reference? If you were way younger, really young,
he was doing research.
Okay, well, doesn't make it any less creepy there, Pete. If you have to say I was doing research
for a book that never came out, I think.
Well, because the pages are all stuck together.
Thank you. He's going to come after you now, not me.
Ascertainers listeners, we have a website. We have, God, Mark, we do. We have a, email account, and we have a Facebook page. And on either of those, I would love it if you would just give us people that you would like to see pitted against each other in a 100-yard dash. And, I mean, sure, you could look it up, or you can have us look it up and then share it on the air. So, I can think of a ton of, Paula Dean and Tracy Morgan, stuff like that. Because I just really want to hear what ChatGPT is going to say. And I hope it doesn't come down to what I fear. Because there is one element of the Steven Tyler, Kenny the Jet Smith that was not covered. And I'm not going to say it, but, if they trend toward, Tracy Morgan, I don't know. He had a traumatic brain injury, and she's a cook. But if they pick Tracy Morgan in that, I might say, wait a minute. Well, there's a trend here. Maybe like a cooking biscuits, telling jokes, high dive. No,
didn't they used to have that diving with the stars or something? Because Louis Anderson was on it.
Seriously?
Yeah.
High diving with the stars? Do you remember watching cliff diving on Wide World of Sports?
Yes,
that was a sweet sport. And they had to time that. So when they jumped, the water was just coming back into the little bay that they were jumping into. That can't be fun. That's confidence right there. And what if you catch it when it's like, oh, didn't come this time?
It's like a restaurant on the cliff also with the people watching, waiting for something bad to happen.
This calamari is chewy. Wow, nice cock. Oh, wow. Yes.
Who would win between Paul McCartney and Ringo Starr?
A race? Somehow I feel Ringo.
I do too.
I think Paul could beat me, though.
Well, he could beat me also. But Ringo is 2 years older. He's 84 and Paul's 82.
This is an honest one. Who do you think in playing the bass would do better, you or Paul McCartney? Because you both play the bass.
Oh, Paul.
That quick? You don't want to think about it?
I'm not going to think about it.
Right-handed bass. You think he could still be as a righty? Yeah. Sorry, I was trying to give you a win over a Beatle. Can't win them all.
I could play better than Pete Best on bass.
I've heard Pete Best is an entertainer, so he probably plays a mean bass and maybe a squeeze box to boot. Do you have any other errors and omissions? Otherwise, I have kind of a little new thing I want to...
Jim mentioned Black Sabbath's NIB.
Yes.
And they tried to pawn that off as a song about Bill Ward's beard.
His beard. Seem like a cop-out to you?
Oh, definitely.
Okay. I don't know the specific, I know mostly just kind of the melody, and...
I looked up the lyrics, and it was pretty dark, and it really didn't talk about shaving habits and putting oil in your beard.
Huh. Well, I'll be. As we touched on this, so that song came out before Tipper Gore became a thing. Who was Senator Al Gore? He was in the Senate, wasn't he?
Can't remember.
She wasn't.
No, she wasn't.
Yeah, but he was either a representative or a senator. I think it was Senator Al Gore. Tipper's his wife, and she has the like Purity and Music Association or some shit nonprofit. And that thanks to her, we've got the little parental advisory.
The warning label, yeah.
And you were thinking that, oh, okay, well, maybe that song was way before that. But then fast forward, also during that time, there was it might have been more than one teenager that was found unalived in their bedroom with the maybe the album still spinning of Black Sabbath. And I don't know which songs were the ones. There was one, I think they said if you play it backwards that it said kill yourself or something. But those are all, you ever heard one of those and it's like, really? Also,
was that Helter Skelter also?
who the fuck is playing it backwards? Oh, here's his part.
That's
so it sounded like, yeah. It's a lot of, those people had a lot of spare time, I think. So
I think Black Sabbath was brought up a lot during those hearings just because of their name.
Theoretically, and this, I don't want this to come off sounding cold or whatever, but theoretically, if in reverse it said kill yourself, then in forward, it would mean the opposite. So if it said don't kill yourself in reverse, that would be like, and when you played it forward, it would encourage that behavior, which I don't think anyone should do. And I don't think it's possible a kid was listening to that when they made that fatal decision, but I don't think that was the
driving factor.
I think there might have been a couple other factors associated that caused that to happen.
Now, does Norman Greenbaum, does he get like a gold star then?
For Spirit in the Sky?
Yeah.
Because that's about after you've died?
I Got a Friend in Jesus.
Ah, same. It's just weird because his name is Norman Greenbaum, and you would think that he might think Jesus is okay. Maybe they're his friends. Yeah, I could see that. But most people of that persuasion don't think that's the answer, but that's okay. God, we could almost be a religious podcast. A lot of times I bring this stuff up, but just trying to educate, especially a guy like you who's lost.
Wow.
Didn't know you were lost until you were found, Mark. I got faith in you, buddy. Once you figure it out, you'll be like, oh, that's what Jim was talking about. This is cool. And
well, thank you for worrying about me.
Come whenever you're ready, just open that door. Do me a favor, open the door and let him in. I wonder if that's what that's about there, Mr. Paul McCartney and Wings. Also, is it Phil and Don? Remember he talks about different names? Auntie something, Phil and Don.
Auntie Jim.
Because I was trying to remember the names.
Was that you?
I was trying to stop it. I was trying to think of the names remember the names of the people. It was Tim and Dawn. So Phil and Don are close enough for me. Oh, I was listening to something today. There was a cool, what do you call it? I don't know. It was a guy, like the rock scientist or something like that. Music, not geology. And he was talking about 1976, and he had like 11 songs, and he had some interesting facts about those songs, one of which was, it's Elvin Bishop. Are you familiar?
Fooled around.
Yes. Do you know he didn't sing on that track?
No, I did not know that.
Do you know who did sing on that track?
I don't.
Mickey Thomas. Do you know who Mickey Thomas sang with?
Don't.
Starship.
Oh, wow.
Like the shitty Starship, like the 80s.
The one that
Starship.
came after.
Yes.
After the guys left and went to Hot Tuna.
That was Airplane. Well, I mean, this is way after that, I think. Hot Tuna was the 70s or 60s even.
Yes, but they were in Jefferson Airplane.
Right.
They left.
And then there was Jefferson Starship, and then there was Just Starship, and he was in the Just Starship.
Oh, I thought he was in Jefferson Starship also. He was alternating with Grace.
You know what?
On lead.
You very well could be right on that. But the point is good for Elvin Bishop to say, you know what? I just don't think my voice is the right voice for this song. Even though he wrote it, he said, Mickey Thomas can do it, and it was a big hit for him. I can't think of any other Elvin Bishop songs.
Ted Nugent didn't really start singing till Cat Scratch Fever.
True. It was David St. Holmes, wasn't it?
And you enlightened me on
And a little meatloaf mixed
Meatloaf.
in there. I'm going to try to get meatloaf in every episode. Honestly, do you think that we have to be, unless there's a podcast literally called Meatloaf and stuff, I think that we have brought up meatloaf on 25% of our.
I would think so, yes.
Feels good. I feel better. Do you feel better when you've talked about meatloaf a little bit?
Yes, definitely.
I think
The food and the singer.
You don't eat meatloaf?
I used to
Can you
love
eat fake
meatloaf.
meatloaf? Do they have that?
Yeah, I've had that. From the Herbivore.
Is that a restaurant or
It's
grocery store?
a place that does just fake meat stuff. They still need to work on the recipe.
But I guess you've eaten both. Is it a close? I mean, is it like remind you of? And again, the
No.
reason Mark doesn't eat meat, this would be a great time for me to make fun of him, but I won't because it doesn't do well. He doesn't do well with it. He has side effects.
Yes.
So that sucks. I'll tell you what, man. I like me some meat, but you can eat eggs and cheese and stuff. So
Yes,
I
I'm
got that going. And fish.
a pescatarian,
That's right.
which somebody else that wasn't a pescatarian taught me that. And they asked me a question, are you a pescatarian? I have no idea what you're talking about. And they gave me the disappointed look also.
When did you find out you were a pescatarian?
When I was with my high school friend Steve and his wife, they invited me over for dinner, and I said,
Okay.
I don't eat meat.
Did you tell them that after they
No.
when you were having dinner?
They knew it well before.
Here's your steak. How do you like it? In the garbage?
No, they're always very polite, and they cook a meal that we all enjoy.
Special? Grilled cheese? Crust cut off?
They're very good cooks.
They use the little dinosaur cut up. Here you go, Mark. God dang, I like me a grilled cheese. You can eat that.
Yes,
There you go.
with tomato soup. I always eat it with tomato soup.
I like the crack version of tomato soup, also known as ketchup. Ketchup on a grilled cheese is silly good. And ketchup on cheese curds. It seems kind of white trash, but I do like it so much.
My wife makes fun of me because I have grilled cheese with ketchup, lots of ketchup, and tomato soup.
Wow.
I'm trying to get my vegetable in
It's a
there.
lot of lycopene there, my friend. I had a couple of things about songs that kind of resurrected a band. And I don't know, I mean, you want me to touch on a couple, or is there anything you'd like to bring up?
I was
Because
going to
we're-
bring up the drummer thing that
Yeah.
got me in trouble before or yesterday.
Huh.
2 drummers got fired. John Freese with the Foo Fighters. And he actually played in a lot of bands, but
Oh, yeah, him?
he was not, it wasn't anything impressive. It was more the story about the 2 drummers getting
What were
Fired.
the other bands?
God, he actually played in Devo.
Yes! What? Devo? How
Yeah,
old is this
and-
guy? He must be pretty old then.
Oh, I thought you said you were in love with this guy. And I was
No.
thinking, that's
I might,
certainly
I
not
don't
a
know.
question.
I haven't met. I'm in a committed relationship. I can't, do that. But
And then Ringo Starr's son, Zach.
is it Zach Starkey?
Yeah.
Did you
And it was,
you find out is Richard Starkey Ringo's real name?
yes. And it's Richard Stark, I think, is the
The
serial killer. Yeah.
We had Ringo last night as a suspect in some unsolved murders. Sorry
He's-
about that, Ringo.
He still might be. We haven't ruled it out yet.
Well, no one has not said he. Yeah, exactly. Maybe the cops don't even know about it yet. They might want to start looking into some old DNA and stuff, some drumsticks and.
But the Foo Fighters are doing the Van Halen type thing, where they kicking the drummer out and bringing in Taylor Hawkins' son on drums.
who I've seen play, but he's very young. Is he able to? Isn't he like in his teens?
I don't know.
I thought he was like a kid. I thought it was kind of like a. I saw him play.
he
and
looks very young.
You could tell it's Tyler Hawkins' kid too. By the way, he looks like him. He kind of plays like him. I think he's got super long hair. I'm going to look it up.
Taylor was a lot older than you think.
He died at age 72 he was 50. 72 to 22, is that right? Oh, he died at a Four Seasons. I guess if you're gonna go.
Is that a good place? I didn't know that.
The Four Seasons hotels? Well, Maybe not for you, but for a guy like me, I've stayed a couple Four Seasons.
Oh, I thought something happened at the Four Seasons. They were like,
well, he died there, so I guess he's not a fan.
I thought maybe they were known for like swingers clubs or something. I don't know.
No. Let's see.
Four Seasons don't come after me.
So is it Oliver? Oliver Shane Hawkins is probably, yeah, or then he's got Everly and Annabelle, so that's the only boy. He is 16 years old, my friend.
Wow.
Yeah. That's why I'm saying it's going to be interesting. I guess, there's Hanson, the Osmonds.
How early did Wolfgang start?
Don't know that one. I don't think I've ever seen him without a beard. So, or am I thinking about Wolfman Jack? I don't know much about Wolfgang Van Halen.
I thought he started pretty young, but it wouldn't have been 16.
Well, my understanding is Dave Grohl's a bit of a handful. I mean, even those two, they had a very toxic relationship at times.
Taylor and him?
And Dave Grohl, and they're both drummers. And there was a time when Dave Grohl started playing with Queens of the Stone Age as a drummer, and he's like, I think he was kind of doing a me. He was kind of, hey, you should come to some of these shows, man. You really should. You should come watch me play drums. You should come watch me do what you try to do in my band. I mean, it really pissed him off. And those two were, like, I saw this in a couple of documentaries. They were kind of like brothers, very kind of got fucked with each other quite a bit. Whereas the other guys in the band seemed way like kind of off in the wings watching it and stuff. But, and very, I mean, if you look at Nate and I don't know his last name, and then Chris Schiffler, they seem like about the most mellow dudes you're ever going to meet in your life. And then those other two kind of make up for it. So it's kind of a little vortex that they could create.
On stage, they always had or gave a vibe that they had a close connection.
They had great chemistry on stage, yeah. But it's, that's a couple hours a night, and then you got 23 hours or 22 hours a day to deal with the rest of the shit. And Tyler Hawkins was a pretty expert drug user, so and I don't know what Dave's situation. I think Dave Grohl strikes me as probably not a big druggie, but once you start hitting the black tar, you're fucked, dude. You can't. I mean, it'll win. You can't beat it. It sounds like an endorsement. You can't beat it. Try it. No, you cannot defeat heroin. Heroin will always win. It'll make every cell in your body revolt and just say, get more of me, to the detriment of all your relationships. Same thing with alcohol, I guess. I don't know. I've never been addicted to either, but I pity those who are, because it's not a fair fight. And the only way to lose that fight is to not get in it. Oh, happy birthday to Mark. I didn't acknowledge his birthday a week ago or so when it happened. So happy birthday, old man. You're now a year older than me.
I was never going to mention it because Jim always makes fun of me. His birthday is...
It's in March. Thank you. And I wear an extra medium in case you want to send me something.
So he's 10 months younger than me, but he always goes, oh, it's definitely a year. 10 months is not a year.
Hold on. I'll even go 9 months difference. So we could be brothers, Irish twins. I'd be premature, which is somewhat accurate.
Get a hold of us at TheAscertainers@gmail.com or like us on Facebook and share it with a friend.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I'm going to just do a quick shout out to the music you heard at the beginning was original music done by a local band called Fiji. And the t-shirts that were made for us were designed by
Selena.
We'll just go with Selena, who is like the pop singer, and Prince goes by one name. Actually, we leave last names out. But she is your what to you?
She's my son's fiance.
Fiance. And so they were designed by Selena, and they were printed by Jensen Creative. Jensen Creative. If you want to know about either of those businesses, bands, anything like that, send us an email. I'll try to put something about each of them. Not really. I don't think Selena does that like for a living, but I'll throw a couple of links down in the show notes of the one you're listening to right now. And for sure, go to Newt's if you haven't been to Newt's. And we've recorded so many times this weekend, I'm not positive if we talked about Newts this time. We did.
We did.
Good. Good night.
Bye.